Controversial opinion incoming. Vanguard Zombies isn't all horrible. Alright. It is mostly horrible, I'll give you that. But that stain mostly comes from the existence of Duran Fong and Terra Maledicta. Thankfully, the Zombies community is really good at bullying, and they bullied Treyarch into making round-based experiences for Vanguard Zombies. That is where we can discover the one truly great thing that Vanguard brought to the table, and with it being showcased in round-based Zombies maps, we can see how it would apply to future round-based Zombies maps, like if it were in Black Ops 6. I am of course talking about the Covenant system and the Altar of Covenants. This one part of Vanguard Zombies really enhances the experience in a fun way, with it being an entirely new mechanic that also shares some properties of previous mechanics in a new format. In this video, I am going to discuss what this system is and how it works, what it does to improve the experience, and close off with how and why I think this should be applied into all new round-based Zombies games. Let's get into it and start discussing how the Covenant system works. Many people avoided Vanguard Zombies, and those who played are likely repressing those traumatic memories. So I'm going to cover all there is to know about this system, that way I can provide all the necessary information for my claim that this system should be in future Zombies games. I will also be focusing in more on the round-based experiences of Shinonuma and the Archon. The Covenants work the same way in both round-based maps and the challenge-based maps, however, they are much more enjoyable in the round-based experience. I am also trying to get these brought into round-based maps, so there isn't much point in discussing Duran Fong or Terra Maledicta in this video. Within each map, there is the Altar of Covenants. This is where you will purchase and upgrade your Covenants. The currency is Sacrificial Hearts, which you will acquire as you pass rounds. You can bring your Sacrificial Hearts to the altar, where you'll be given 3 options of Covenants to purchase, or if you already have some equipped, they may show up again as available to be upgraded to the next rarity. The selection resets every round, so if you don't like the options there, then you can wait until the next round and see what is available at that point. You are allowed to have 3 Covenants equipped at one time. These Covenants start as a rare rarity and can be upgraded to Epic and then Legendary. There are 2 exceptions to this rule that we will cover after I list all of the Covenants the game offered, which I am going to do now. Ammo Gremlin. Stowed weapons refill ammo from stock. Artifact Ward. Melee attacks from behind can trigger your artifact. Bloodlust. Stronger melee attacks that heal the player. Brain Rot. Turn enemies to your side. Brimstone. Constantly deal damage to nearby enemies. Critical Expertise. Non-critical hits have a chance to be critical hits. Cryo Freeze. Chance to slow enemies. Call the Weak. Deal more damage to slowed or stunned enemies. Dead Accurate. Successive shots on the same enemy deal more damage. Dead Shot. ADS moves to critical location, remove weapon sway, first crit on each enemy deals more damage. Dead Wire. Chance to stun enemies when shooting them. Death Blow. Critical kills return a bullet to the clip. Explosives Expert. Your explosives deal more damage to enemies and less to you. Motherload. Chance to retain equipment after using it. Resurrectionist. Revive allies faster. Splatterfest. Enemies killed by explosions have a chance to explode. Scrapper. Gain more salvage from pickups. Swift Vengeance. Deal more damage the faster you move. Unholy Ground. Deal more damage when shooting while stationary. That is all of them. They had 19 in here, and that is a healthy number, I think, especially for a struggling game that didn't get much support. Put an actual team behind this, and there could have been many more Covenants. Looking at these, we have some mild mechanics tied to the Covenants, but what I gave you was the base version of these. Like I mentioned before, all Covenants but 2 start as rare, upgrade to Epic, and then become Legendary. The exceptions to this rule are with Deadshot and Death Blow, which upgrade from rare to Epic and rare to Legendary respectively. They have only 2 tiers instead of the usual 3. The upgrades for some Covenants can get wild. Of course, some are boring, like Splatterfest is upgraded by increasing the odds of explosions to happen in a nondescript way. But some upgrades are nuts. Resurrectionist goes from reviving faster, as if you had quick revive, to becoming a near equivalent of the near-death experience Gobblegum, where you revive allies by simply being near them. Beyond the upgrades being good, some of these are really fun mechanics. Brimstone does exactly what it says on the box, and you will damage enemies by being near them. This makes for a unique experience where you can train zombies and never shoot them. Sure, it isn't the fastest method at all for taking out zombies, but it is unique and fun. That is how the Covenant system works and some of the quirks of it. As you saw, many of these Covenants are copies or inspirations of perks, alternate ammo types, or gobblegums. Considering we are now in a game where all these mechanics exist independently of a Covenant system, I would love to see the more unique concepts like Brimstone be used in a continuation of the Covenant system. What this does is allow players to vary their gameplay match by match because they can select different Covenants. There may also be times where it takes time to get what you want because you are unlucky with the choices you draw. You can save your sacrificial hearts for later, or try something new to get a benefit in that moment if you feel you need it. This choice can lead to someone trying something they wouldn't normally try, possibly leading them to a new fun strategy. There is a segment of the zombies community that enjoys the idea of creating the best builds and digging in to find synergies. The augment system has provided some of that, and it works well. The Covenants could be an extra benefit. This system would actually work quite well for that, especially if it was more fleshed out. A simple example is that you're not going to use Swift Vengeance and Unholy Ground at the same time. These work against each other, so you wouldn't totally benefit from having both. Unless, of course, you plan to run in bursts and then stand there waiting and then running again. It's an odd strategy, but maybe it would be useful in certain spots. Combine Motherload, Explosive Expert, and Splatterfest. Now you have a comp built all around explosives. You'll be able to use many more explosives, they will do more damage, and if you get kills with those explosions, you will trigger other zombies to explode. You could always have the classic medic type player in co-op where they get resurrectionist and work to bring their allies back time and time again as easily as possible. There are many ways to utilize this system within a game that isn't fleshed out. Imagine it being in a fully realized zombies mode. Something that doesn't exist as much in the zombies games of today is choice within the match for your kit. Previously, we had a limited amount of perks available and a limited amount of perk slots, meaning you had to decide how you wanted to play and target those perks. I prefer having access to all perks, don't get me wrong, but having some in-match choices to think about is a fun way to change up the variety of things. Having progression be purely linked to the menus outside of a match isn't that exciting. This was a large complaint of Cold War zombies, for example. All your field upgrades, perks, and weapon types had upgrades that existed outside of the match, and once you upgraded them, they were permanently in that state. With Black Ops 6, they did improve this with the augment system, which lets you change your upgrades to make a build, but again, this exists only outside of the match, bringing us back to a desire for an in-match system that impacts how your game plays out. The Altar of Covenants could do this. Something else that the community has been searching for could be addressed with this system being implemented again. It has been noted that Zombies has been losing some of its aura, its gameplay vibe, its aesthetic feel. Take a demon altar and slap that back into Zombies, bringing along with it a darker tone, and that could add back some of that aura we have been yearning for. It is simple, but could be a step in the right direction. I also think that it could be possible. I didn't think they'd be willing to resurrect old systems and concepts, but now seeing Treyarch revive and delve into the Chaos storyline brings back hope that they're willing to use things that worked in the past and try them again, or maybe even willing to do new, strong innovation. Hopefully. That's not the point though. This is an old system with potential to enhance the gameplay experience match over match, and there is a chance that they could consider bringing this back. If this were to be implemented into a game like Black Ops 6, we would of course lose the Covenants that mimic perks, alternate ammo types, and field upgrades, and have to replace them with different Covenants to keep the quantity at a good level. Considering the current way Black Ops 6 plays, we could add in a Covenant that helps players deal extra damage to special or elite enemies. Because of how much spam there is, this could be a helpful system to add. Even more so when you realize that this could be paired with Deadshot as you run both the perk and the Covenant. Now though, you have to be selective. Do you want this Covenant that pairs with Deadshot? Because then you only have 2 other Covenant slots. It could make for meaningful choices, which has been missing in Zombies lately, like I mentioned before. We could also have a Covenant related to the armor system. Let's say at base level, it increases your armor's durability slightly. At epic level, it would allow the player to carry 4 reserve plates. At legendary level, the player can carry 5 reserve plates, and it further increases the durability of armor. Another option relates to ammo. There is a significant lack of ammo at times, and only special or elite zombies drop ammo at any consistent rate. Add in a Covenant where through the tiers it increases the chances of normal zombie types dropping ammo for the player. Speaking of Black Ops 6 specifically, we have a major camo grind filled with tons of critical kills needing to be done. Imagine using the Critical Expertise Covenant. You missed some of your critical hits, and now you have a chance for those to still count as a critical hit, which could lead to more critical kills falling your way. This could have been a big help for camo grinding, or even simply playing the game. You fire into a horde of zombies, not every hit's going to be critical, but this could help correct that and give a small power boost to the player. There are limitless opportunities and options with the Covenant system, and if there's one thing that people took away from the dumpster fire of Vanguard, I hope it's that this system is worth a shot again. I could have sat here all day theorizing and coming up with potential ideas for what they could have done with this mechanic. However, I am a realist, and I do realize that I'm already basically screaming into a void. Maybe a larger name will find this and be able to spread this idea around so Treyarch may hear that this mechanic was appreciated by someone. If you played Vanguard Zombies, what did you think of the Covenant system? Whether or not you did play Vanguard, how would you feel about this system or one like it coming to future Zombies games? Let me know down in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Farewell. Until next time.